Hey everyone, Mike from Just Watch, back with another Just Watch review. Excited for this one today. We are reviewing the Tudor Black Bay Steel, a watch that was released last year at Baselworld 2017. It has received great acclaim, all the bloggers love it. Everybody seems to really love this watch and it seems to be selling very well. It's kind of interesting though, I haven't seen a lot on YouTube about it, so hopefully this video fills a niche somewhat. I've seen the other Tudor Black Bay models reviewed on YouTube, but not a lot on the Black Bay Steel. So we've had about 3 weeks wrist time on this watch, really enjoying wearing it, lots of good things to say about it, and a couple of things that I would change if I could. So let's go get into it and give you more info. All right, everyone, let's go switch and we'll check it out. Okay, so here we are with the Tudor Black Bay Steel, reference number 79730. And I realized that in the intro, I forgot to give you guys the wrist check for today. So I wanted to give you guys a look at what I am wearing today. Tudor, I've got Tudor on the brain here. Today I am wearing Seiko's very popular SARY057 with the cream dial. If you guys want to see a review on this, I did a review on this, I think my last review or two reviews ago. So I really enjoy wearing this piece. It's a smaller piece than I typically wear at 38 millimeters, but really nice piece, keeps great time, and just really enjoy wearing it. I really like just the classic aesthetic of this watch. So let's get into the Tudor Black Bay Steel. Tudor did something really smart with this watch. And what they did is, in order to create, and I think this watch is really kind of a modern classic tool/dive watch, and with a vintage feel to it. And how they got that great vintage feel on this is what they did is they went back to two of their most historically significant watches and borrowed bits and pieces from them to create this watch. So I thought that was a really smart move by Tudor. So what they did is they went to the 7922, which was introduced in the mid to late 1950s, I think 1954 actually, and they took the case, the bezel, and the crown, the large crown from that piece, and they went to the 7921 and they borrowed the snowflake handset. So they took all of those neat design features, they compiled them into a new modern case, movement, crystal, and what have you, and created just a really nice modern classic dive watch, with a great vintage feel. So nice job by Tudor there as far as that comes to mind. Let's take a look at the case here. So what they did overall, the overall aesthetic on this watch is very clean, utilitarian. You can see not a lot of flash. You do have the nice high polished sides, but not a lot of color going on. Just black stainless, the color of the lume, and just two little hints of red in the triangle, which is also great because that also gives it that vintage classic feel, and also the line of red text there denoting the water resistant level, which I think is very cool. Anybody that knows the Rolex line, knows the double red Sea Dweller and the Rolex red subs and what they mean to the vintage market. So I think that was kind of a really nice touch on the part of Tudor to give that line of red text there, there, and also, the nod to the old King sub with the red triangle. So 200 meter water resistance. Really nice clean lines on this case too. What they did is they did a radial brushing on the top of the lugs and on the underside of the lugs, and also matched that radial brushing to the bezel. So really nice job there. And then they gave it a beveled edge that you can see here that goes from the tip of the lug all the way around to the other tip of the lug. And what that beveled edge does, it gives it kind of a nice vintage feel, but it also delineates the brushed surface from the high polished sides. So really nice job there. Case diameter, 41 millimeter, 50 millimeter lug to lug, and 14.8 millimeter depth. This watch is a little bit deeper than the old ETA based movement on the Black Bays. The new movement is just a little bit deeper. Let's take a look at the back of the case here too. Classic Rolex case back. Anybody that knows Rolex will recognize that case and those tool marks, utilizing a Rolex tool to remove that case, very simply engraved with just your straight across brushing. And it just says Tudor manufacturer caliber MT5612 going around with the Tudor shield. And of course they leave that nice open spot for personalized engraving. And you can also see the radial brushing. You can actually see it a little bit better on the underside of the lug than you can on the top of the lug. So really nice job on the case. Great dimensions at 41 millimeter. I really like everything about the case here. Really nice job from Tudor as far as getting the dimensions and everything down there. There is one nitpicky thing that I don't like about the case, and we'll come to that at the end, so stay tuned for that too. Let's talk about the crown here. You have an 8 millimeter diameter crown, so it is quite a large crown with your Tudor rose engraved and then also filled with a black lacquer. Oops, sorry about the camera bump there at the end. And then of course you also have the black alloy tube there that the crown screws down into. And I know that on the other Tudor Black Bay models that they featured that in color, and some people liked it, some people hated it. I think with the black, it's a good move. I think it, it matches the dial and it just goes along with that kind of monochromatic color scheme, and just a good job overall. One of my favorite things about this watch is the bezel. 60 click, so very nice feel to each click and a really great sound. And what I really like about the bezel is your bezel here, it feels like it's rotating on just a really high quality bearing, and there's just no friction at all. All you're feeling as you're clicking each click away is just the bearing. So really nice feeling bezel. I really appreciate that. And I definitely like the pearl lume at the 12 with a red triangle, and then just the hash marks, the a la Submariner hash marks from the 15 to the 0. So really nice job on the bezel by Tudor here. Very legible, as we talked about, handset already. Submariner-esque dial, just very simple and clean with your Tudor logo and Tudor Geneve at the 12 o'clock, and then your red text with a depth rating at the 6th, and then chronometer officially certified. And then down below that you can see the Swiss made outside of the hash marks for each minute. And then of course your date at the 3 o'clock. This watch features Rolex Super Luminova, so incredible lume. You go outside for a few minutes and you come into a semi-dark room and that lume is just jumping off the dial. So really cool as far as that goes. I really like that. I also really enjoy the domed sapphire crystal that is on this. So it's a very slight dome with a step up out of the bezel. And let's give you a look there. So there you can see that slight step up out of the bezel. And let me see if I pull the black in, if you can see that bezel better, or the crystal better. Yeah. So there you go. You can see. And Tudor actually, and why Tudor does this but not Rolex, they put AR coating on their crystal. And you can see how well that works, how well you can see that handset. So I hope that Rolex follows suit with that, because to me, that is something that a watch, that retails for above $500 or $1,000 should have. Never mind a watch that retails for, $3,000 or more. So there you go as far as that goes. Movement on this is really great. This is Tudor's in-house caliber MT5612 movement with date function. The old non-date versions, or the other non-date version, is the 5602. The 5612 has the date version. This movement was originally developed in 2015. It was developed for the Heritage Black Bay Steel and Gold model, and it brings the date function to the Black Bay family for the first time. Of course, it's COSC certified, so you get a very accurate movement. It's high performance caliber, very precise and proven robust. It's Rolex knows how to make the robust movements, and it features a 70-hour power reserve, which is awesome. So it beats along at 28,800 vibrations per hour, or 4 hertz, whichever you prefer. And it's regulated by a variable inertial oscillator with a silicone balance spring. So it's also, that silicone balance spring is held in place by a traversing bridge, which really gives that movement its robustness, and also keeps it very accurate. So as worn currently, and I've worn this watch for about 3 weeks, is currently losing just under 2 seconds a day. So well within COSC standards for this watch. Talk about the bracelet real quick on this watch too. So this watch, you can get an oyster style steel riveted bracelet, which I did not get. I opted for the distressed leather, or you can get the distressed leather with a deployant clasp, which is what we have here. Both of them come with the NATO. So it's a really neat NATO strap with a Tudor-esque shield clasp. just a typical pin buckle. I have not taken that out yet to put it on, so I've just been running it on the leather or a nylon NATO from Archer. I really like the Archer, and I wanted to keep that new Tudor one new for a while, so before I wear it. Let's take a quick look at this. So it's a really nice aged leather. It has like a suede coating on the inside for your wrist, so it's very comfortable to wear. And then a very high quality deployant clasp. So you got your Tudor Genève, Swiss made, and just really nicely done. And what they did that I think is kind of neat on this clasp. So it closes with a really nice snick and snap. And then when you have it in the closed position, it forms the Tudor shield. So kind of a nice feature. And you have a combination of brushed and polish, of course, and it's marked Tudor. So let's give you guys a wrist shot on this too, just so you guys can see how this 41 millimeter Tudor Black Bay Steel looks on the wrist. So we'll put the Seiko down for now. And I really enjoy wearing this. Like I said, I really appreciate the 41 millimeter size, and I think it looks great on the wrist. So there it is on the wrist. Right there. Really nice size. I really enjoy the overall aesthetic on this watch too. Just the color scheme and the utilitarian tool watch vibe, and definitely the profile of the watch. So, and just knowing that you have that that Rolex quality without having Rolex on your wrist. So this is a watch for people that know watches. Not for somebody that's trying to impress somebody or anything like that. Just for, to me, this is just, it's a really nice timepiece for anybody that just wants kind of a modern, classic, vintage tool watch. So let's just go over what I liked and did not like about this watch. So first of all, on the likes, I love the overall aesthetic, the color scheme, the easy to read dial, the large crown. Like I said, everything about the vibe. I like the accuracy and just knowing that you're getting Rolex quality and just precision in just a robust package. So I really enjoy that. What I didn't like is very nitpicky, and it's the position of the watch pin within the lug. See how they put it down at the bottom of the lug? What that does is when you're wearing it, you can see all of that case side. So when it's on your wrist, and as I said, I know this is being very nitpicky, but I just wish that they had moved those lug pins up just like a millimeter or two. So you can see that case side, and that might not bother everybody, but to me, it's just something that, where it's on the bracelet, it's fine. But when you have it on a strap, you can't see that. And to me, I just wish that was up just a smidge higher. But I understand why Tudor didn't do it as well. They wanted to keep the bracelet as close to the wrist as possible, or the strap, so to speak, as close to the wrist as possible. And that's why they went and did that. Retail price on this watch, $3,000 on the strap, or about $3,400 on the bracelet. I really like this watch. I like the overall aesthetic. I like the dial. I like the monochrome colors. And I like that you're getting Rolex quality and precision and robustness in a piece that's not screaming Rolex off of your wrist. So it's a little bit more sublime. To me, this is a watch for watch people, if that makes any sense. A couple of things I didn't like, or actually the one thing I really didn't like about it, was the positioning of the pins within the lug. And you can see how that creates a lot of exposed case sides in between the lugs. I wish that they had moved it up just a little bit, maybe even in a little bit, so you didn't have that big exposure. That might not bother everybody, but it bothers me just a little bit. So, and then, like I said, the things that I love the aesthetic, the large crown. I like the coin edge bezel, and just the overall fit and finish of this watch is fantastic. So I definitely really appreciate the watch overall. And I think that the pin position is, definitely a nitpick. So that's it for that. So everyone, thank you for tuning in to this episode and this review on Just Watch. If you like this content, please do like, comment, and hit that subscribe button if you're not already. If you're already a subscriber, thank you for following along. I definitely appreciate everybody's likes and comments and words of encouragement as we go forward with our channel. So everyone, thank you again for tuning in, and we will see you soon. Bye-bye.